just laughing about the background noise. Just as I decide to come on and go live, the dogs decide to go nuts. And I've got some scaffolding up at the side, so they decided to jump up and down and do that. So I wasn't actually going to come on today, and I'll tell you why I wasn't going to come on. I wasn't going to come on because I'm in a whingy, complaining type of mood. And I'm quite sure I'm not the only one who wants to complain about things. But then either somebody reminds you or you think to yourself, I shouldn't complain. And I shouldn't complain because I'm really lucky. Oh my goodness, my dogs are going nuts. I shouldn't complain because I'm really lucky. And you sit and find yourself looking at the things that you want to complain about. But at the same time, saying to yourself, right, I'm not going to complain about that because someone else out there is so much less fortunate than I am. This is so funny. The dogs haven't been making a sound until I came on and decided to go live. So you say, for example, what would you want to complain about? Right, so I'm complaining because I go to the store and I'm not able to get some taps or some faucets for a sink that I'm having put in. And then you think to yourself, well, you know, I shouldn't complain about this because I'm really lucky that I can actually afford taps in the first place. Or you complain about the fact that you're not able to go on a trip, you're not able to fly anywhere or go on holiday. And then it's the same thing. You think to yourself, well, you know, I'm in the Cayman Islands and we're not on lockdown, so I'm so lucky, so I shouldn't be complaining about that either. And there are so many things I think that we're in that situation with at the moment. You think to yourself, gosh, I want to complain about this. But then you think to yourself, there are so many people out there in the world who are much less fortunate than I am or you are. So I shouldn't complain about my situation. And I agree with that. I agree that there is an element of being grateful for what you have. But at the same time, I don't think that that means that we should all be sitting justifying our situations and saying, well, this is okay because there's people out there who are worse off than I am. The fact is that if you're not in the same situation that you're normally in, and if you're having to make sacrifices, and if your life has altered from what it is before, then it does affect you. And that doesn't matter whether you're a lucky person, a wealthy person, whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. If your life has altered and it's altered adversely to where it was before, then you're in a different situation and that is affecting you mentally. So if you don't complain about things, then and you don't get things off your chest, then you end up bottling them all up, and that in itself has an impact on your mental health. So I'm just going to say stop doing it. And I found myself doing it today when I was looking at the taps. I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm really, really lucky that I can actually do this. And then when I'm told that I have to wait 6 to 8 weeks for some taps or a faucet to come in, and I think to myself, well, I'm really lucky that I can actually get those taps or the faucet in the first place. Well, I'm not, because it's not what I'm used to. And I do want to complain about it. And if I sit there and I don't complain about anything and I'm grateful for absolutely everything, then it's likely to have an effect on mental health. And I think that is the thing. I think we're all trying to practice gratitude. We're all trying to be grateful. And as a result of that, we're not getting things off our chest that we need to get off our chest. And there's 1,000,001 ways that you can get things off your chest. You can go and grab a diary or a journal and you can write things down that are annoying you. You don't have to be sitting in the company of people complaining and complaining and complaining. I think you just have to get these things off your chest. So I'm going to go and get a notebook and I'm going to write down the fact that I'm really annoyed about the fact that I've got to wait 6 to 8 weeks for some taps for a sink. I don't actually, because I can just go away and I can find another way to get them. But the point is, I have to get it off my chest, because if you don't get these kinds of things off your chest, then they just sit there and they annoy you. And unless you're some super monk who's able to sit there and practice being present and never letting anything affect you, then lots of little things are going to add up if you don't deal with them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go there, I'm going to grab a little book and I'm going to write down the fact that I'm really hacked off that I go to a store and it's lined with taps. And every time I point at some taps, they tell me the taps are not in stock. And I think, well, why did I bother coming to the store in the first place? I ended up wasting a whole load of time. So there you go. That's my little take on why gratitude is great, but at the same time, don't feel as if you can't complain about the fact that your life is not normal at the moment. And your life might never be normal again. It might never go back to where it was. Don't feel that you've got to bottle it up and not complain about it just because you might have your job still, just because your marriage might still be intact, just because you might not have anybody in your family who is sick. If you've got to get it off your chest, then get it off your chest. And if you don't have anybody to talk to about it, then go and grab yourself a notebook and just sit there with the notebook and write it all down. So there we go, my little words of wisdom for today. As I said, just coming on here every day, doing this for my own benefit, posting things that are on my mind. Not doing it for likes, not doing it for follows, just doing it because I'm actually enjoying coming on here. And from a confidence point of view, I'm sitting talking and I don't care whether anybody's listening or not. Anyway, have a very good Friday. Enjoy the weekend. I will be back tomorrow because it is my pledge to post absolutely every single day. But just going back to what I said just now, get it off your chest. Because if you let things, there can be tiny little things, but if you let all the little things build up and build up and build up, the little things become a big thing. And that's when you might find that your mental health is being affected and you do start to get really down in the dumps. So grab a notebook, really good way to do it. Just write that stuff down if you don't have anyone to talk to. Okay, I'll head off now. Have a good Friday, enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you back tomorrow on Saturday. Bye-bye.